Now, Billy McGuire is president, I'm told, of the Irish Republican Brotherhood. Billy, good morning.
Good morning to you. How are you?
I have to say, and I have to be very honest, I've never heard of you.
Well, we founded the state between 1916 and 1919. The sovereign constitution and the proclamation are ours. The tricolour flag that flew over the GPO in 1916, the harp, the shamrock, the Easter lily, and the sovereign seal of Dáil Éireann.
But are you not all dead now?
Not at all. I'm the last member of the Supreme Council left, and we meet in Hayes' Hotel in Thurles. We have our annual Oireachtas there every year, and we meet on the 21st of January, and we turn the sovereign seal.
Now, explain. I've heard about this before, and it is on YouTube. Not very good video, but it is a... What on earth is that about, Billy?
It's all about the sovereignty. You see, the Irish Republican Brotherhood, you go back to the Fenian Brotherhood is the sister organisation. You go back to Young Irelanders, go back down, and they're the sister organisation founded by John O'Mahony for America. And St. Patrick's Day, in 1858, James Stephens founded the Irish Republican Brotherhood down at 16 Lombard Street in Dublin. Mm-hmm. And we celebrate St. Patrick's Day because of St. Patrick, our national saint, and we celebrate it because the Irish Republican Brotherhood were founded on that day. The tricolour flag is our flag, and all those flags, it was John Francis Marr brought that over, and on the 21st of January 1919, in the Cabinet Room and in the Round Room in the Mansion House and in Vaughan's Hotel, my family bought Vaughan's Hotel in Parnell Square in Dublin. And when the Queen came here for her visit, she had to get permission from the Irish.
Now, hold on a minute. This is where it... Okay, I'll bear with you up to then. I'll bear with you. Billy.
Yeah?
The Constitution of Ireland...
We have five now. Which one you're referring to?
The Constitution is... You know damn well what I'm... The Bunrock na Héireann 1932.
No.
You don't recognise it?
Legal, valid, or the only valid Constitution is the Sovereign Constitution. And it was by the will of all the people of Ireland in the 1918 32 county election and ratified on the 21st of January 1919 in the Cabinet Room and in the Round Room.
So you don't recognise Bunrock na Héireann 1932?
We are Bunrock na Héireann.
What about 1932? You don't recognise it?
Which is not legal, valid or bona fide.
On whose authority is it not legal or valid?
Because it has to be under the mandate of the 32 counties. You can only change the Constitution under the 32 county mandate. That's what the Irish Republican Brotherhood have, and that's what it's all about. But the importance of the GA was the backbone of the Irish Republican Brotherhood. They founded the GA, you know, and that's why it was founded, as you know, in Thurles, in Hayes.
I know it was founded in Hayes Hotel, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what it was. And the medal, the Sam McGuire and the Lee McCarthy trophies and the medal, they're Irish Republican Brotherhood. I'm related to both those trophies. And in 2008, the GA took off the sovereign seal and era off the medal. The GA was a national organisation for the 32 counties. And the GA turned it in 2008 into a corporate body. And a corporate body, as you know, is only for making money.
Are ye the people, Billy, that don't recognise the courts?
We recognise the sovereign Dáil Éireann courts. But you see, you have...
Do you recognise the district court, the circuit court, the high court?
If it's under the sovereign constitution, we do. But if it's not under the sovereign constitution...
But nothing is under the sovereign constitution. Everything is based on 1932.
No, it couldn't be. It couldn't be. Not that you're talking about. The sovereign constitution is by the will of all the people of Ireland. That's the mandate that the Irish Republican Brotherhood got.
So when I went out and voted in a referendum, many times since I turned 18,
right,
I was voting in a referendum to change a document that is not recognised.
It's not legal, valid, because in 1922, King George V, in 1919, in August 19, King George V, he declared that Dáil Éireann was an illegal assembly. And in
Who declared Dáil Éireann was an illegal?
King George.
But what mandate did he have to declare the Dáil?
He doesn't have a mandate to do it. That's the point of the whole issue. And because the 32 county election of 1918, that's where our sovereignty is based on. and the 1916 proclamation of the Sovereign Constitution, which was written in Vaughan's Hotel in Parnell Square.
Okay, you told me that, but you're talking about. So, in other words,
we have five constitutions.
What you're saying? Well, I only recognise one.
Well,
the one that I was taught in school. I recognise the one that I was taught in school, which is 1932.
Constitution, and he didn't write it. He went back and he rejigged the first sovereign constitution because the British wouldn't allow him a 32-county mandate to vote.
So, in other words, I've been given a wrong education as well.
Well, you haven't been told the facts. The facts are the sovereign constitution is the
correct.
only legal.
Sorry, guys, just to correct. I am saying 32, not 37. Correct.
Constitution imposed in 1922 by King George V, and then you have De Valera's 37.
So what you're effectively saying, Billy, is, and I know this is a discussion about the GA, but you're effectively saying to me that every law that I live my life by, and other listeners to this program live their life by, is invalid.
I'm telling you, that's what we're saying, because it's the people are sovereign here, and it's the people decide. In Britain, the people are subjects to the crown. You're the sovereign here, and that's what's the difference.
So, in other words, I don't have to pay a fine. I don't have to recognise a court order. I have no.
If it's the legal, if they have our sovereign seals, the sovereign seals that are up on the courts are owned. And
but none of the courts that work in this country are based on your 1919 document. None of them.
They should be.
Maybe they should be, but they're not.
It's the only legitimacy they have.
You're basically questioning the legitimacy of every court in this land.
I am, of course, because that's our sovereign seal that's over the courts, 13 strings, with air on it. It has to have air on it. That's our tricolour flag that flew over the GPO in 1916 and ratified by the will of all the people, together with the proclamation, the Sovereign Constitution, and the Easter Lily and the Shamrock. That sovereign seal, 12 strings, that's on your passport and on your title deed, is owned and is the property of the Irish Republican Brotherhood. And we keep them in trust for the sovereign citizens, for the sovereign government. Only a sovereign government has the right to issue licenses.
And so do you recognise the government?
It's a provisional government since 19... Why don't you read that era? It tells you quite clearly. In 1922...
Do you recognise the government? And don't play words with me, Billy. Do you recognise the government?
The sovereign government.
No, don't play words. Do you recognise the government? Do you recognise Enda Kenny as Taoiseach? Do you recognise the government?
Excuse me, he's provisional Taoiseach.
Do you recognise the guards?
The guards, do they recognise...
Yes or no? Do you recognise the guards?
The Garda Síochána's first day of duty was in Vaughan's Hotel, and then in the Mansion House.
Do you recognise the guards?
We recognise the sovereignty of the state. We recognise the proclamation and the sovereign constitution.
So, in other words, you recognise nothing licensed under 1937?
Look, wait, let me say this, and don't interrupt me. In 1922, King George V imposed a British apartheid system for the 26th and 6th counties of Ireland as a British free state, a British Orange-free state for the 26th and 6th counties, and a provisional government in 1922. Right. That's all we have.
I'm going to ask you a question, and I take it that I'm corrected on the Bundock 1937. These things happen. Wait, stop a second. I'm not getting texts in here who are saying, "Who is this nutcase?"
Well, it might be a nutcase if you like to call me a nutcase, but it's your sovereignty. And if you hadn't got a passport or a title deeds on your land, and that's what we claim all that territory every year, and we're the only legitimacy that in this state.
And do you tell me that you had to... Did someone try to tell me one night downtown that you had to give the Queen permission to come to Ireland?
The Irish Republican Brotherhood had to get permission from the Queen to get permission for the Queen to lay the wreath in the Garden of Remembrance. The reason why the Garden of Remembrance is there because Vaughan's Hotel looked out onto the Garden of Remembrance. That's where the Sovereign Constitution was written. And it was the Earl of Harrington who took his seat together with other people in the House of Lords to arrange that Queen's visit. It took 10 years, and that's how she came here. And the tricolour flag that will fly is our tricolour flag with Michael D. Higgins, who has no permission to use it because he's only the provisional. He's under the 26 counties under King George V. The sovereign seal that's up on the coat of arms of the Crown of England She is the Crown of England. Is not the sovereign. She is the Crown. It's the harp that is the sovereign. The covenant between God
and who represents that? Who represents that?
All Irish people, all Celtic people represent the sovereignty, and the sovereignty is the harp, the covenant between God
so
and
who's
man.
The leader?
All the information,
who's the leader? Who leads the country? Who's our head of state?
The head of state is the president of the Irish Republican Brotherhood, because he holds the mandate of the 32 counties.
So you effectively a head of state.
What?
You're a head of state.
I am the sovereign head of state. I represent of the people who are sovereign. It's the people here who are the sovereign, and that is of the 1918 32 county elections. That's the mandate that all the people of Ireland gave to the Irish Republican Brotherhood to found the state, the sovereign
But Billy,
Republic
do you not understand?
And the War of Independence.
I appreciate you believe this, but do you not understand that you are trying to turn on its head everything that I learnt in school and everything that thousands of people...
You learn propaganda, and you... Look, Dáil Éireann has never sat in Leinster House, nor could it sit in Leinster House. You can read the facts. We say, Dáil Éireann, I told you, in 1919, was made an illegal assembly by King George V, and in 1923, he declared Dáil Éireann to be an illegal assembly. Dáil Éireann has never voted or ratified the Anglo-Irish Treaty. It has never voted or ratified the EEC accession treaty or the EU accession treaty. That's our tricolour that's flying.
So we're all living a lie.
You're not living a lie. You're living propaganda, and you're living. Are you telling me that Michael D. Higgins is president of the 32 counties?
He was elected by 1 million people.
Of the 32 counties?
People who went out and voted.
Of the 32 counties?
People who went out and voted in an election.
Of the 32 counties. I ask you the question.
But we're separated.
Now you're beginning to understand.
No, it's not. No, don't patronise me, Billy.
I'm not patronising
you. Are patronising. You're having a go here.
That the people of the 32 counties voted for Michael D. I would like the people of the 32 counties to vote for Michael D. Higgins. Then he would be the head of state, but he isn't.
All right,
and
Billy. Okay. Look, it's an interesting conversation. To be honest with you, I've just had a call. Yeah, I take a call. Billy, thanks for taking our call anyway. Okay? It's Billy, President of the Irish Republican Brotherhood, who reckons he's the sovereign head of state.